Excellent.
Right,
Well, how are you? How's your weekend?
I'm in a great mood, Ali. In a great mood. Sitting in top 4. Got Laura Woods in front of me, ready to throw daggers my way.
Are you going to stay there, my friend?
What do you mean?
Are you going to stay in the top 4? Not the studio. I know. I fancy.
I don't know. I'm worried. I don't know. Right?
I'm worried.
The way Laura's looking at me, I probably might be out of here in about 10 minutes. No, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. Arsenal going to crumble tonight. Away the lads! Away the lads!
I enjoyed your tweet this morning. He said, really thought about wearing a Newcastle shirt into talkSPORT this morning just to get under Laura Woodsy's skin. But I know they're already having a panic up for tonight. And someone underneath has said, this is David. He said, come on, Jamie O'Hara. You know better than to gloat early. Let's wait and see what happens. It is quite like you to go a bit premature though, isn't it?
Woodsy. I'm very confident that Newcastle will get a result tonight. It's absolutely pressure time for Arsenal. It's a tough game. You saw yesterday with Spurs, that was a tough afternoon. Pressure was on, nervy moments. Arsenal now have got, they have to win the game. So it's a big night for Arsenal. That.
I was just going to ask you, would you reckon? I haven't seen it this morning. Is Trippier and Wilson definitely back for the tune?
Well, they were on the bench for the last game, I know that for sure. So it would be just Arsenal's luck, really. I think I don't know if they'll go straight back into the starting lineup or what will happen necessarily. But look, Newcastle are no mugs. Ever since Eddie Howe took over, ever since the takeover in general, the players that they've managed to get in, it'll be a tough game, and it's at St James's Park as well, and the atmosphere that they can create, that they will create tonight as well, because they know how important it is for Arsenal. It's going to be raucous there. I wish I was going, actually. If it wasn't so far away and I didn't have work at 4 a.m. the next morning, can we not do the show from... No, actually, because if we lose, I will not want to be anywhere near there.
I will
not want to be anywhere near there at all. But look, it's like whatever way you look at it, taking your allegiances to Spurs aside, this is a really tough game for Arsenal.
This is a tough game for sure. Newcastle have been in great form with Eddie Howe, and fair play to Arsenal. They've given themselves a chance. The destiny is still in their hands. They win the games, they're in the top 4. Simple as that. So they've had a great season. Anyone who says, I was on the sports bar the other night and Arsenal fans are phoning up after the North London derby saying Arteta out, and I just couldn't believe what I was hearing, because he's done a great job with a young group of players. He's just put this team together, and they're fighting for a top 4 spot, which really and truthfully is an incredible season in terms of where probably people expected them to be.
Have you changed your mind on that?
Yeah, no, I think they've had a good season. I really do. I still think Spurs are going to get in there. I think when it comes to the crunch, this is an inexperienced Arsenal side. You saw it against Tottenham on Thursday night. They were absolutely shocking. They fell apart, crumbled under the pressure, and that's why, and I said it for months leading up to that game. Now it's whether they can bounce back and get a result and pick themselves up off the floor. I just think the pressure is going to carry on and continue to get to them. It's amazing that it's all to play for still, the title, top 4, relegation. Yeah. What a season.
It has been an incredible season. It's one of the most competitive I can remember, Ali McCoy. What about you?
I've loved it from start to finish. Particularly, even the excitement. Jamie's 100% spot on, talking about the excitement, relegation, top 4, and obviously going for the title. But that aside, I just think some of the quality we've seen this year has been absolutely magical, particularly from the top 2. The 2 games, for example, involving the top 2 this season in the league have been incredible. The standard, Jamie, the pace, the quality, it's been amazing.
Yeah, Ali, what dressing room would you rather be in right now if you was Arsenal or Spurs? Arsenal have got to play tonight. Spurs have already got the points on the board.
Well, here's one for you. I'm going to, it's again not for the first time, full of contradiction, because I would rather be in the Arsenal dressing room because it is in their hands. However, I'm with you. I'm leaning towards. I think Spurs will do it.
Got points on the board.
What worries me a little bit is when Arsenal are in that position where it's in their hands, like they did before when they lost those 3 games on the bounce. They can struggle a little bit, because you're right, they are a young side, and maybe they are more susceptible to pressure like this. I'd like to back them, because I just think there are performances that we've seen so far this season from that Arsenal side where they have pulled it out the bag and beaten teams that we didn't expect them to be. For example, Chelsea, in that run that they went on, where they actually strung 3 or 4 games together in the Premier League, wins together in the Premier League. I'm going to have a little bit of faith for my Arsenal side actually, and say, look, I think I think they definitely can do it against Newcastle. It will be a tough game, but I think it's there. Just looking at it, Trippier and Callum Wilson did come off the bench in that last game, so I don't know if they're ready to start. My dad just said they had about 15 minutes each, so I don't know if they're ready to start that game. Obviously, it would be a lot better for Arsenal if they didn't start that game, but they are looking like a force at the moment, aren't they? For Spurs and Antonio Conte, next season, how much do you think Conte's future at the season is hinged on them finishing top four?
I don't think it means anything. I think he'll be at the football club anyway. I've seen enough from him as a manager where he wants to be at the football club, and I think there's something there for him to build. And I think whether we get Champions League or Europa League, however we finish, I think he'll be there next season. He's going to have a big summer in the transfer market. I think we need to improve the squad massively, because even watching this yesterday, people was, I got a bit of stick saying that I thought it was a really terrible performance from us because it was nervy and
nervy.
Yeah, and like not really confident. And you got to expect like Conte's standards. Really and truthfully, you beat Arsenal, you turn up against Burnley and you go again and you turn them over. But it's that whole kind of Spursy atmosphere that we've created where them big moments, we still look really nervous in them. And Conte's still got to change that. And I think with better quality players in the team that he will sign in the summer, I think we'll have a good chance. Sanchez is going for a 50-50 with, I think it's Ashley Barnes, isn't it? And I kind of feel for him, to be honest. It's a soft pen. It really is. But his arm is out. And in the modern day of how you have to give a penalty if your arm's in an unnatural position, he has to give it. Any other season or, a few seasons ago, it's never a penalty. And, I watched it again just a second ago to make sure I'm just getting things right on it. And I have to say I feel for him. I really do, Burnley, because I thought we would really struggle to get a result if it wasn't for that penalty. We didn't really look like scoring. Nick Pope always plays well against us, and it was the penalty that really got us the result, and I think they can be hard done by Burnley.
Ali?
100%. Jamie's right. 10 years ago, it's not a penalty. And there's part of me, and I know it's the law before they start saying it's a law and you've got to go by the law. I get that. But sometimes the law's an ass. I think sometimes referees are going to have to, by all means, go and have a look at VAR, yes. But if there is absolutely no way that the player is trying to gain any advantage, and I understand, I don't understand, actually, people saying his arm's in an unnatural position. Actually, the way Ashley Barnes' his body was going, his arm, that is the natural position for his arm, because that's the way his body was moving. Okay, it's out away from his body, but I don't see people saying
he's actually having a 50-50, Ali. It's not like he's going to block the ball from a shot or
That's
anything. He's
my
actually
point, Jamie,
kind
mate.
of fighting with Sanchez for the ball, and Sanchez
100%.
just kind of gets a foot on it and
100%.
hits him on the arm. It is really harsh. But we'll take it. It's not our problem that VAR's a shambles.
I get it, and we would all take it. But I just think we're going to have to have a look at the penalty situations, again in greater detail, particularly the handballs, because I think it could be relatively straightforward for a referee to look at it and say, look, is he trying to gain an advantage? Then it's a definite penalty. If he's a little bit unlucky and the ball kind of plays him, I think sometimes the player's got to get the benefit of that. I really, really do. Sometimes we've seen some of the penalties have been outrageous for the handballs. You know what I mean? Like Jamie, you play the game. You generally speaking, if a player is trying to gain an advantage with a handball.
I want to give you the thoughts of former Premier League referee Mark Howsey. He's been writing in The Sun. He said, I'm not convinced VAR should have recommended the review, which led to Tottenham's penalty against Burnley. It was the correct decision in Law 12, handling the ball, but I believe the handball law is an ass. Can I say that?
Of course you can. I just said it as well.
You did? Okay, cool. Tony Casarino also says in the Times today, time to tweak the rules and give defenders a chance. Basically backing up what you're saying, Ali, maybe?
Definitely. I've got
Is
to
it
say,
clear and obvious error as well? I thought, is that...
Well, yeah, I suppose, or is that outside the realms? And I think it is, isn't it? Yeah. So if it's clear and obvious, obviously you go in and intervene. But you're right. There's lots of, it's the rule in general, isn't it? Rather than the way that that VAR is handling this situation. Perhaps the rule in general. We can't seem to get it right. It's that handball.
100% right. They got it. 100% right.
No, as in like the rule itself. It needs to be tweaked, perhaps. Ali McCoy. What would you do to make it better?
Well, just like I said, Laura, I would give referees the opportunity to, if the VAR have a look at it, just basically say, okay, was it accidental? Right? Because first of all, that is accidental for me. That's an accidental handball. There is no way he's going into that challenge thinking that ball's going to hit my hand. So therefore, straight away, you have to have a sympathy with Ashley Barnes and the defender. So when it comes to that situation, I think the referee's got to look at it and say, look, he wasn't trying to gain an advantage. It's just one of these things. It's hit a part of his body that he had no control over. Sometimes you just got to play on.
Okay, up next. What, do you want to say something?
No, I'm just saying we'll take it all day long.
Yeah, of course you are.
3 points on the board.
You're Spurs.
Away the lads.
That's what you do.
Away
Up
the
next.
lads.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods. Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.